Known to have been killed in taxi-related violence across Cape Town just this morning.
Members you copied, we responded to Dynavontein, the Blue Town guys, Sweet Homes. Idiot. Cape Town is quite dangerous to be a police officer. You don't know what to expect. That is our work.
And some more on the shelf. So that's 4 separate shooting incidents, and some of those scenes are still...
On arriving at the crime scene, there's nothing that Police Commissioner Domingo can do but count the victims.
3 people, sir. 3 people, yeah. 1 fighter. Where's the other one? In the corner, yeah.
One wounded victim on the pavement, another taken into emergency care, and 1 dead, shot at point-blank range. The Anti-Gang Unit Commissioner makes his provisional assessment of this new case.
There's a victim laying there. Can you please stand outside, please?
The shooting took place just a few minutes ago. Now the police are searching for even the smallest of clues.
Any projectiles or round they on the scene.
The shooter isn't far. He escaped on foot just after having shot at his victims.
The marker is the road. Now we don't know. It's not known yet what is the reason why they were shot. But it's alleged that it is part of a taxi-related.
A settling of scores between taxi gangs, the beginning of an escalation that will result in 23 gun murders in 2 weeks, yet another symptom of a city steeped in extreme violence. Cape Town. At almost 6 million inhabitants, it's the second largest metropolis in South Africa after Johannesburg. It is first and foremost a world-renowned tourist destination. The country's wealthiest residents all have their villas facing the ocean, but there is a side to this idyllic setting that is kept hidden from view. Slums as far as the eye can see. The townships, Hanover Park, Manenberg, Kayalitja. Ghettos formed under apartheid, reserved for the black and mixed-race population of Cape Town. Today, they are lawless zones within the city. Here, death strikes at every corner. Even in the middle of the day. Killings, violent theft, attacks, and all kinds of trafficking. The police are often overwhelmed.
It is considered to be the #1 capital when it comes to murder in South Africa.
Targeted by criminals with nothing to lose.
I'm proud to be American.
In response, residents barricade themselves inside their homes. Some of them even arm themselves to protect their families.
I carry it with me like this all the time. This is my preferred mode of carry.
Other citizens risk their lives in the worst parts of the city in an attempt to restore order.
Actually, in this place where you now, this is a gangster paradise.
With 3,000 deaths each year, Cape Town has one of the highest rates of homicide in the world. We dive into one of the most dangerous cities on the planet. For years, in the face of rampant crime, Cape Town's city centre has become a battleground. To protect themselves, inhabitants are building higher and higher walls. Barbed wire, high-voltage wires and surveillance cameras have become part of the local landscape.
Let's go, we're gonna go to school. Hey!
Zahir and his wife are raising their children in a well-reputed, quiet suburban neighbourhood.
We're gonna go to school. Yep. It is chilly outside.
A laboratory technician, he's representative of the middle class that is forced to barricade themselves a little more each day.
Well, this is the one of the security systems in the home, but unfortunately, with the levels of crime that's happening today, we just have to get, do things like this. So, yeah, let's get them moving.
Zahir and his wife had metal spikes installed on top of their gate. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. They were burgled twice last year.
It's very scary. At night, if you just hear a noise already, and you're up and just looking around and hoping that no one is trying to break in. So you don't leave anything lying around that is going to attract the attention.
I will follow. You can say, stop it.
Once inside the car, Zahir does not let his guard down. Quite the contrary.
Every time I leave the house, whether I'm going, whatever direction I'm going in, I'll make sure that the gate is closed. So I need to make sure that when I leave that there's nobody getting inside the property when I'm gone.
He isn't paranoid. He is the image of all South Africans for whom these habits have become a part of everyday life.
I'm always scanning in front of me. I'm checking my rearview mirror. When I get to traffic stops or where you're forced to stop, I try and leave a gap between myself and the front vehicle, of at least a vehicle's length, so that if something were to happen and somebody tried to hijack the car, I'd be able to maneuver out of that situation. So this is where my daughter's preschool is.
His level of alert has intensified since he became a father.
Say bye. I will not leave until that door is closed.
To stop living in fear, Zahir has taken it to the next level. He has equipped himself with a firearm which he carries with him at all times. In South Africa, this requires a license. Each week, he gets some target practice with his friend Lance, an insurance broker who likes to dress up as a cowboy. He himself was a victim of armed car theft a few years ago.
When I pulled into my driveway at home, I was confronted by 3 armed hijackers. All 3 of them were armed. They had balaclavas on, and they were ready to steal the vehicle that I had, but also wanted my home keys. I resisted, and we had a shootout. And I'm pleased to say that although I was shot twice, I survived, and I managed to incapacitate all of the carjackers.
My uncle was murdered in his surgery. A year before that, my cousin got murdered as well. I don't think there's one person in this country that can say that they haven't been a victim of a crime.
On a day-to-day basis, Zahir carries more than just a pistol.
Which you could carry in your pocket. This is a multi-tool. I carry a defensive blade. It's a fixed blade, short, concealable. Basically what it is, it's a tourniquet. This is a cheap one.
It's a band which you put pressure on to stop bleeding.
To stop bleeding.
I'm always armed because I do feel vulnerable and naked. I hold a black belt in 2 martial arts, but I would never ever go out without having a blade on me. It's always on me.
Why not, Len?
Because in this country, senseless, violent crime is so prevalent. It's people get killed here for a cell phone or for a box of cigarettes. It's incredible. Violent crime is out of control. The police cannot control it. Us as citizens have to be our first resource to protect ourselves, our family, and our communities.
The main danger facing Cape Town residents is robbery in their own vehicles. The infamous carjackings or armed car theft. Practically a national sport in South Africa, carjackings are on a constant rise from year to year. 18,000 thefts were recorded last year. They happen everywhere, at all hours of the day. Each time they're carried out the same way. Here we see a group of men that are about to rob a goods van. From a distance, the assailants spot their prey. They've blocked off incoming traffic. They pull out their guns. The robbery lasts only a few seconds, and in this case, resistance from those inside the vehicle is futile. Sandra Fouché is a mother in mourning. She recently lost her son in one of these carjackings.
I did this one 2 weeks ago. Is the time he was born, and the bottom clock is the time that he died.
Kyle had only just turned 21 years old and was killed at the wheel of his car in the middle of the afternoon.
54 days later, and I still haven't got an answer.
Today is the first time she's going to the scene of the crime, right in the middle of the township.
I'm very close to where it happened now.
It was the early afternoon and Kyle had just finished his day's work on a nearby construction site. On the road home, he got caught in traffic.
This is the bus stop that Kyle bought his Kyle's car stopped just here. Someone came out of the shacks on that side. 2 guys out of the shacks on that side. They shot at him. I don't know if it was 1 gun, if it was 2 guns, but there were 2 shots. 1 shot missed him, 2nd shot hit him. Kyle managed to drive from there, and as he veered into oncoming traffic, the Avanza tried to move. The Avanza moved forward, but Kyle still managed to hit him, and that was when Kyle collapsed over in his seat and died.
At home, Sandra has not yet touched her son's things. Her sister Sally has come to help her. Kyle had just left home, but every weekend he continued to visit his mother and 12-year-old sister Chloe.
I don't know what I'm going to do with this. He was wearing this when he died. I got it back from the morgue.
This killing was senseless. He wasn't part of gangs and he wasn't part of life like that. Why? Why him?
A murder that left a family devastated by grief and with little hope of finding the killers. In the townships, investigations are rarely successful.
Essentially, Kyle's case will probably never be solved. It'll turn into a cold case. He'll become one of the statistics in South Africa.
Like Sandra, citizens no longer expect anything from their police. Shocking circumstances, proof that the situation has spiraled out of control. Understaffed and undertrained, the police no longer have the means to curb this tidal wave of violence. So, South Africans are faced with a dilemma. Rely on themselves for their own protection or call in specialist companies. For €300 a month, they provide their clients with a complete package. Camera installation, a mobile patrol, and above all, in case of emergency, a 24-hour armed response. Buntu Mapasa is a manager for one of these companies.
I think if you go back to the 9:03.
Each morning he reviews the incidents of the previous night.
They pretend like they're walking, right? And then slowly looking into cars. And then if they manage to spot something on the vehicle, then they will quickly, with the elbow or with whatever object they have, that's how they operate.
On this occasion, the suspect decided not to act. A fortunate outcome for the owner of the vehicle. But whatever the outcome, it is advisable to have such a device at hand. It can be a saving grace in many situations. In this video, for example, the man with the backpack is suddenly attacked by a group of young people in the middle of the street. With his hand in his pocket, he has just enough time to activate his device, which instantly alerts the guards in the vicinity. Luckily, a car was nearby and immediately went to the scene. While the victim was being held down, the Buntu employee ran to deal with the attackers.
This red button has saved many lives. Because remember, if you are able to get a chance to get to the phone, but if you have this would be a direct contact with the control room. As soon as you press it, it will come to our controllers.
Buntu Mapasa is 35 years old. He chose this profession for the salary above all else, €1,200 per month, 3 times the average in South Africa. High salary and adrenaline. Private security is one of the riskiest jobs in the country. Last year, 30 security guards were killed in the line of duty.
We're more targeted because of the firearms that we carry. Because remember, these criminals, they need the firearms. And they can't walk into a gun shop and start purchasing a firearm. So they will need to get it from somewhere. And unfortunately, they're getting it from us.
Buntu Mapasa does not only protect individuals. Lately, another type of clientele has been calling upon his services: shop owners. The country is experiencing an unprecedented wave of looting. 40,000 shops were robbed in a few days. Law enforcement officers were totally overwhelmed by the events. With over 300 deaths, the death toll is extremely high. Against this backdrop, the security officer is on maximum alert.
Everyone is on a panic. You've got business owners that are fearing for their businesses, because anytime, at any point, a group of people might come in and start looting your shop empty.
And just then, at security headquarters, an alarm is activated.
Controller, coming for Alpha Mike.
Buntu immediately goes to the scene. He suspects that goods are being stolen from this warehouse.
There are no signs of forced entry, controller. All appears to be in order. Electric fence is still fine at the top.
False alarm. A few minutes later, his team sends him on to a new operation.
Yeah, take one. Just meet me in Mula Road, bruh. There were suspects that got away.
It's another carjacking. One of his customers has just been attacked while driving his car. The police are the first on the scene, and Buntu assists them looking for the suspects who fled.
Sure, yeah. Did you see if they out or not?
Okay, all right. Suspects ran into one of the canals, man. There's an armed robbery. They've got one suspect already, but the other two, apparently, they in the canals. So we're just gonna see what's happening.
Nothing below ground. Buntu conducts a search of the neighboring building. Time is running out to find the fugitives, and it's not playing in the security officer's favor.
Now we checked inside, church at the back, nothing.
A few hundred meters away, the police recover the murder weapon, a large caliber gun, a model particularly favored by gangsters. The gangsters are finally arrested 2 hours later. After inspection, it becomes clear that the gun belongs to the gang that has been terrorizing all of Cape Town, the most feared gang in the whole city, the Americans. They have their headquarters in a district just 15 kilometers from the city centre, Manenberg. 50,000 inhabitants and an average of 150 reported homicides per year. There are no less than 10 gangs spread across these 3 square kilometers. In this area, the Americans make the law. After months of negotiations, they accepted that we have a camera present for 48 hours. In this enclave, gang members only obey one man, their leader, Devon.
This is mess back, like a knife. This is loot, like a lot of money, this one. And this one, this one, his name is Killer. You know why he's a killer? He like to kill people, man. Straight talk, I like to kill people. That's why I get that nickname, Killer.
All these gangsters have robbed, raped and killed. Their leader, Devon, 41, is the most feared of them all. Actively wanted by the police, a price has also been put on his head by all the rival gangs.
We defend ourselves. There's only one of them. You see the others is here looking out at the borders, that the enemy can't come.
This is why as a Arab play, what is it? was een klomp groot laap gangstermense aan ons wat klein meer. Ons betrek maar net onze area en dat is niet wat is het betrek.
Fuck them up if you fuck with us. You see, that's why we have a ground. We also have
The Americans are dangerous and known to be uncontrollable.
Maar also vlag als lievendag man.
Especially when under the influence of drugs.
You see, ugly Americans, you all of us, and something like that. Where is your brother? God bless America.
We are born Americans, we die Americans. That's our life.
There's no turning back from being in the gang.
You feel like you're on cloud 9. It's intoxication, man. You doesn't know what's really happening.
But this is the good stuff for them. Very good stuff.
And you take some?
No, I'm drug free. I only take a cigarette and now and then alcohol. My whiskey. I like my whiskey. You understand? But no drugs.
Why not?
How can I sell the stuff? And I use it. I can't get high on your own supply. You understand? It's business.
Devon is flooding its neighbourhood with tick, a local version of methamphetamine or crystal meth, an incredibly powerful synthetic drug.
This is a 10 rand, that small pieces. And that long one, that one is 30 rand, that one.
Within a few months, the drug will make any consumer dependent.
Why do you do it, sir?
Because I don't smoke it. My mind is not the same. So I must smoke it to get a little bit higher.
But how much does the business bring to the house? How much money? Yeah. No, that's a very uncomfortable question you ask me now, man. You understand? That's enough to go on, man. For me and my people here.
Devon won't tell us where the drugs come from or how he gets them. His business is sales. A task taken on by his two lieutenants, Jermaine and Gennaro.
This is kick. Kick. Makes the people high. Some people use it now. They get like angry. Someone talk to you, you become aggressive. What do you see? Yeah. Right, they have a gun. Huh? But when they talk, they wanna play with the gun now, and they wanna have the gun and cock the gun and do everything with the gun.
You say you take it to the corner, you're gonna share it out with the customers.
Dealing is a risky business. Before rising up the ranks, Jermaine and Gennaro started out in the field.
Just here like this. Drop here. In front there, they shoot it. And looking at the night, night.
And then they started shooting, All that time. He was running in front of me, but they shoot him scrums here, in the back here. So I thought maybe he's gonna fall. Because I'm running at the back, I'm watching him, running. And I see, yeah, he's gonna fall. But okay, he didn't fall. He managed in a go.
The dealer was left with lifelong injuries.
They stole my bag.
Stole my bag here goes here, and look how does it look. They're forced to work with the stuff. Yeah, this is his personal one.
And what is his name?
In the gang, Dylan is a hitman, a hired killer. He boasts proudly of his murders.
It takes 19. No, how many people does that gun? This gun, it killed. It killed plenty of people. I just come out shortly time out of prison. So this thing, man. If I catch you, I'll pick you up and face off.
In these townships, every street, every pavement is the scene of a merciless turf war. The police's efforts seem futile. Gangsters kill each other for control of the drug trade, by far the most lucrative business. A police officer and his father Commissioner Domingo have been on patrol here for 22 years.
Everyone becomes a suspect who stands on a corner because they're part of a gang. So they will rather have drugs on them, or maybe, if you're lucky, they will have a firearm on them.
Every day,
Hey!
the police officers put their lives at risk. At the end of the alley, the police have just spotted two young people on the run. The first team goes after them.
Father, are you in the car now?
Sure. So you must come from both sides if you want to catch them. Because usually when you come from one side, they run to the other side. You're the only one.
The police's trap allows them to close in on the dealers, but they got rid of their goods before they were caught.
What are you looking for here? Mandrakes. They normally hide this in between the rubble.
Mandrax, an extremely powerful synthetic drug. It takes the form of small white pills.
Ah, shoot on, shoot on, shoot on, shoot on.
They're selling this mandrax.
50 to 60 rand, it depends.
One. They crush it and then they mix it with the dacha and they smoke it.
The dealers will be taken to the central police station.
They will give him a fine, or for the most, is it how many, 2 years, 3 years for drugs?
But here in Cape Town, that's not what gangsters are afraid of.
Why were you selling that?
Alles so besig, hulle kom nou.
On the contrary, doing time is considered a rite of passage.
If they maybe assault a prison warden, or then they climb the ranks, or kill a prison warden, they climb the ranks, or kill someone in prison, they climb the ranks.
After this first arrest, the anti-gang unit goes back on the ground. This time in Hanover Park, a completely dilapidated district. It serves as a rear base for two of the city's most feared gangs.
This area here is the mongrels. We're going to the mongrel territory now. You see how close they are to one another. That side is the Americans, this side is the mongrels. So that people can't come over here. They walk here, then they fight. Because they're shooting one another. Also about drug stuff. Is it going to check what's happening with this guy?
Commissioner Domingo suspects that these young people are armed.
As die happy lei na nie. Ook bevoete. Wat wou gangboers sê? Ons ging so. Jy beseker? Ja, tot. Hoe mooi praat met my. Ons weer aan. Ja. Hè? Dis wat daar found. Dis wat they found. Nine more. But the gun is the gun. Wat is dit met 'n bullet hier op jou? Wanneer is dit nou op hotel? En dit is de Mexico op jou. Look here. Ons wil dit hoor. Okay, we gaan nog mooi praat daar by die polisie. Jy weet wat jy weet. Wat sê?
These young people are going to be arrested for illegal possession of ammunition. In the ghetto, the young dealers are the ones who get caught first.
Now they use the youngsters to keep the stuff on them and to do the running around, to sell the drugs for the gang leaders. So you will find them sometimes, most of the times, you will never find stuff on the person that is the leader or the drug dealer.
And it's frustrating also to feel like arresting only the small guy.
Yeah, but like if the small guy that we catch with the drugs, or they're selling the little quantity, then we get question him or get information from him to get to the big ones, the big